This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily combat sports news update, but it's mostly about wrestling today. Other than in combat sports, I'll say one thing before I get into the news. I posted today an interview I did back in February with both Don Fry and Dan Severin that was recorded after they did a podcast with Rob Schneider for their Toxic Masculinity podcast, which I did record that day, and there's some clips of it on there. But this interview I did with Don and Dan, it's very off the cuff. Don is in his home, and the two of them are good friends, so it's just them kind of shooting the shit with each other. It's very blunt. It's very honest. A lot of the stuff they say is controversial. But even though I don't agree with all of their opinions and views, I have a lot of respect for them. And that was one of the most fun days I had since being here in the U.S., was hanging out with Rob Schneider, Don Fry, and Dan Severin that day. But I'll get into the news, but I suggest people check that out if they're MMA fans. They do talk about current MMA. However, they were both wrong. They both chose Ben Askren in that Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight. And of course, Jake Paul won that. And I have done an interview with Ben Askren, by the way, that people could look up on this channel. Also, actually, I guess there is combat sports news because former UFC champion Rhonda Rousey, although she is under WWE contract now, has revealed that she's 4 months pregnant. So don't expect her back in the WWE anytime soon. We knew she was taking time off because she wanted to have a kid. So there you go. Congratulations to her and her husband. Raw did its third best rating of 2021 this week, 0.61 rating. NXT last night, now that they're on Tuesday nights unopposed, did a 0.23 rating. Steve Austin's A&E biography, which I'm going to have to check out because it's no secret I'm a fan of Austin, and he's on my list of people. He'd be one of the top of my list of people that I really want to interview. And that would be one where I definitely would be like to be drinking some of his specialty beers with him. I think that would be a lot of fun. It did a 0.38 rating, which isn't too bad. EC3, who has been in WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, I actually met him when he was in Impact, seemed like a nice guy. He's currently hospitalized with an undisclosed infection, so speedy recovery for him. I guess he's been in the hospital for the past 5 days, so that's fairly serious. Former WWE Tag Team Champion Kenny Doane, who's also known as Kenny Dykstra, has announced his retirement from in-ring competition. I don't think he's done. For a while, he was getting a big push in WWE. I think I remember him. Carlos Colon co-promoted a WWE show in 2005 or 2006 in Puerto Rico. I remember the main event was Orton against Shawn Michaels, which was very good, and Shawn did a crazy blade job for that match, even though it was a house show. But I believe Kenny Dykstra fought Ric Flair on that show. So at one time, he was having matches with Ric Flair, but he hasn't done all that much since leaving WWE, to my knowledge. So another thing I want to bring up, the Great North Wrestling Canadian champion, Jeremy Prophet, who, if you don't know who he is, just look up Jeremy Prophet, the Hannibal TV. Phenomenal wrestler. I would definitely rate, he's the champion of Canada. So I would definitely say he's in the top wrestlers of Canada. He just is not maybe the greatest politician, but he's been chosen by Chris Jericho to win a coaching session with Lance Storm. So I know he's excited about that. He deserves a break. He eats, sleeps, and breathes wrestling. He's a genuinely tough guy. If somebody wants to fight him, he's not the type that's going to back down. He gives 100% every time he's in the ring. And I've been in the ring with him when there's 20 people in the crowd, and I've been in the ring with him in front of like 1,600, I think was the most we ever fought in front of. And one thing that him and I have in common, even though we're rivals, is we will put out the same effort